Off the beaded path, your beading starts here. Shop it off the beaded path bead store.
Are you ready to finish up our Raeus pendant that we started on Monday? My name is Kelly Dale with offthebededpathbeadstore.com, and in case you missed it, on Monday I taught how to make the 3D Octagon and how to make our own custom tassel to go with our piece. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to encase a 25 by 18 millimeter Oval Cabochon and how to put all of it together to finish out our beautiful pendant. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we need to get started. So to get started, you are going to thread a needle with 2 yards of thread. You're going to thread on 56 B beads. Count, double count, triple count that you have 56 of your B beads. You're going to bring those down, and you're going to leave just a short tail thread. And I'm going to pass through a few beads. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these. I'm just going to pass through, I don't know, about a dozen of them to make a circle. Now, we're going to be working regular even count tubular peyote stitch. So we pick up a B, we skip a B, and we go through a B. And those 2 beads should sit on top of each other just like this. Pick up a B, skip a B, go through a B. Pick up a B, skip a B, go through a bead. And we are going to do this all the way around our circle. Once you've gone all around the piece, this is what it should look like. Now you'll notice I still have 1 bead left to add here. So we pick it up, we skip a bead, and we go through a bead. So when I finish the row, I'll be going through the single bead here. But now I can go ahead and do my step up, and I can come through those 2 beads at one time. So I can finish the row and I can step up by going through the first bead I added on this row, so that now that row is complete. And you'll see it's a little bit here, there, some part of it lays flat, part of it stands up, and that's okay. It's going to fix itself on this next round. So for round 2, we pick up a B, and we go through the next bead that is sticking up. And when we do that, you'll see how that pops into place. So you pick up a B and go through the next B sticking up. Pick up a B, go through the next B that's sticking up. And we're going to do this all the way around. Now, as you work, I'm going to go ahead and kind of see if it'll do while I'm working. If you have some spots that you feel like might look twisted, as far as, well, it sort of looks like the bead that I added on the previous row is on this side and not on this side, that is completely okay. On this row, you can just go through the next bead that is sticking up. Now, after this, if it looks funky, then yeah, you did something wrong. But here, you're good. Everything is going to work out fine as long as you just go through that next bead sticking up as you're working down one side. Now, you'll notice here, as I get here, it's kind of flattening out. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of twist this a little bit so that it stands up like that, and I can continue to work in my row. So once you get to the end of your row, you'll notice that we have 1 bead left to add here. So to finish it off, I skip a bead and go through a bead, which is going to be this last one for the row. But then I can step up by going through the first bead that I added on this row. So I finish the row and I do my step up all in one go round, so I don't have to do multiples. We now need to add 1 last row. So to add that last row, we pick up a B and we go through the next B sticking up. And what you want to see when you look down on the side is you want to see a row of 3, a row of 2. and I'll pick up a bee, go through the bee, and again, you'll see a row of 3, row of 2, row of 3, row of 2. And we want to do this all the way around to finish out this last row using our bee beads. Okay, so once you've gone all the way around, you'll see all your rows of 3 and all your rows of 2. You'll also notice that I've gone ahead and I've stitched in my short tail thread and I've gotten rid of that thread. So now we are going to be adding the C beads. And this is going to be a little bit of an altered type row as we add them. So what I'm going to do, the very, very first stitch is I am not going to add anything here. I am just going to go straight through the next bead that is sticking up. So adding nothing, just going straight through, and I'm going to pull it so that it makes a little V shape with those 2 beads. I'm going to thread on 1 C, and let me grab me some C's here. Thread on 1 C and go through the next B that is sticking up. Just like this. And I'm going to do that 12 more times to add a total of 13 C. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 13. So 13 C's, and I'm going to go ahead and count them one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so that's right. Now, just like I did here on this other side, after I add that 13th one, I'm going to not add anything, and I'm going to go through the very next B so that when I pull it, it makes a little V shape there as well. So now I'm going to work up on this side, putting in 13 of the C beads as I work on this side. Almost there. Okay, I've got one left to go here. And there we go. Okay, so when you get that done, this is what it should look like. And you'll notice here that I'm coming out of that first bead that I started with. So now I need to step up. So to step up, I'm going straight through the next B and then up through the first C that I added in the round. Give that a gentle tug, and this is what we should have. Now, we're going to work with our C's again, and we are going to thread on a C and go through the next C sticking up. And we are going to do this all the way till we reach this C here. So the last C that's on this side. As you can see here, I've gone all the way down to this last C. Now I'm going to go down and I'm going to go through 2 B's. So these are my B's here at the bottom where I skipped and didn't put anything in that section. And then I'm going to step up by coming through the first C that I added here on this side. And once I have that done, now I'm going to work up on this side, adding in a C between each of these C's. So once you've got that side added with those C beads, now the front side is complete. So what I want to do now is if I flip this over and I look at it from the top, you can see here that I have my 2 beads pulled together. I have a single bead and a single bead. And then you can see here where I need to skip this little space right here so that my points are identical. So I am going to come out of that B right after the C. And basically what I can do now is just come through the C right below it and then the C below that one, just following in that straight line there. And when I do that, now I'm in position to do the back side and have the points in exactly the same spot. So I'm just going to the very first stitch here. I'm going to pull that so that now those points will be in the same spot. And then I am ready to start adding my 15s. But before I add those 15s, I'm going to go ahead and slide that oval in place. And if I hold it here on top, you can kind of see what that's going to look like encased. So I'm going to go ahead and slide that in place. And I'm going to hold it, excuse me, I'm going to hold it in place as I add my row of 15. So remember, the first one is 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whoops, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 13. And if I hold it this way, I can look and I have my row of 2 single beads here. So I'm in the exact right place to go ahead and just pass through that bead. I'm not adding anything there. So it'll make that little V shape. And then I'm going to work up this way, adding my 13 C beads. So once I have my C's added, you will notice that it is held in place. So that is very, very nice. I like it a lot. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and come straight through the next B and then the first C that I added in that round. And now, just like I did on the front side, I'm going to work my C's and then pass through the beads here at the bottom and then work my C's up this side to finish out the back. So once you complete that part of the C's, adding those, then you have the back complete. Now, here's the thing. If you look at the back of this piece, the back of your piece is not going to touch the skin at all because it has this whole big rim of the Octagon to keep it safe. If you feel like you need to add a backing, have at it. It's completely up to you. You'll just need to figure out how you want to cover up the back, how you want to bead it or put something on it. It's completely up to you. You don't have to, like I said, but again, you do you. So once I add that last C there, now I'm ready to do the connection between the Octagon and our new oval encasement. So if you look, and I'm going to turn it around from the front, if you look right here where your little V shape is, so this, we skipped and did not put anything in this little space. We have a row of 2 beads here, 1 and 2. And you'll see that the back here is where I skipped there. We want to be coming out of the single bead right here in that set of 2 that is closest to the back. So I'm going to pass through the next B on the back, and then 1 more B so that I'm coming out of the correct one that I need to be coming out of to start that connection. And I'm going to go ahead and pull that all the way through so that I can now connect it. So you'll want to grab that octagon that you had from Tuesday. And you'll notice we have short sides and a long side. Short side, long side, short side, long side, just like that. So when we lay this on, we want to lay it on to where the top and the bottom are on short sides. We don't want them on the long side. Now you could if you wanted to, but just because of the project we're doing, it has to be on those short sides. Now you'll notice I still have my working thread left from that octagon. So that working thread I'm going to keep here to the bottom. And where I'm fixing to connect is going to be here at the top. So what you need to do is you need to look and you need to find the row of 3, 1, 2, 3 B beads on the short side. So 1, 2, 3, just like this. Because what's going to happen is when I lay this down, the bead that I'm coming out of and that middle bead of that set of 3 are going to be touching. And that's where we're going to be connecting those beads, is right there. So to start out, our first connection, we're going to pick up a C, and I'm going to kind of hold this back for now. I'm going to go to that middle B there of those 3 beads, and I'm going to pass through that bead from left to right, just like this. And the reason I did that is because the thread here is exiting towards the left on our cabochon. Now I'm going to take another C and I'm going to pass through that same B bead on the oval cabochon so that it makes a little right angle weave connection between those beads. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reinforce this once or twice more. So you go through the 15. Then you go through the B, the 15, and the B. So you can reinforce it just like that. Now, what you need to find from where my thread is coming out, you want to find your second 15 or C bead that's on the side that your thread is exiting. So my thread is exiting here to the left. So I'm going to find that second C, which is right here, and I'm going to look to come out of the second B bead under that C. See right there where I'm going with that? So where I'm coming out, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pass through a couple of more C beads, and then the C bead right there. So again, first C, second C, and then I'm going 2 B's under that second C. That's where my thread's coming out. I'm going to pick up 3 C's and go through the C that is right below where the thread's coming out. And I'm going to go through that bead from right to left because the thread is exiting to the left there. So it's going to connect that. And then I'm going to pick up 3 C and I'm going to go through that same B on the oval again so that now it connects there. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reinforce that again. And then I'm going to stitch over here to come out of this bead right here. So again, I found the second C. So 1, 2, and I came down through 2 beads right under it, because now we're going to connect this side. Okay, so you can see over here, now I'm coming out of the correct bead where I need to be at to start this step. So now I'm going to thread on 3C, and I'm going to pass through that little C there that is right behind what I'm going to be connecting. And then 3C, and pass through that B again. So now we have 3 connections, 1, 2, 3, along that top side. So I'm going to go ahead and reinforce this a couple of more times, and then I'm going to stitch through the beads to exit out of the C right here, going in that direction. Once you come up to the top here, you're going to use your B beads again, and you're going to thread on 11 of those. And once you have your 11 beads, you're going to come across to the next C, and you're going to pass through that so that it looks just like this. Now we want to reinforce this. So what you want to do is you want to pass through and turn around to come back out of that same C bead again. And then through the 11. And then through the C. So that just reinforces that a little bit. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be making a double loop here at the top for the for whatever I want to put on it. If I want to put chain, if I want to put a beaded necklace, whatever you want. So you can actually make this smaller or bigger, or you can do your own version. It's completely up to you. I just like the look of a very simple bell. So now that I have that, I'm going to turn around again. And once I get turned around and come out of that C again, then I will pass through to come out of the middle bead of that set of 11. So I'm going to go through the C, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So bead number 6 is that middle 11. If you want the loop to be this exact size, you would need to thread on 21 B beads for this. I'm going to make mine a little bit smaller, so I think I'm going to do 17 B beads for mine. So either 21 or 17. So I'm going to go ahead and thread those on. So I have the 17 beads on here, and I'm going to come back around and I'm going to make a circle. So I'm going to go through that same center bead again. And so now I have a loop, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reinforce that loop again. So I'm going to go back through all those beads one more time. Here we go. And then through that base bead again. So that's the size loop you'll have. Now I'm going to thread on 8 beads. And I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to go through bead number 9 up there at the top. And now I'm going to thread on 8 more. And then I'm going to come through this base bead here one more time. So now I have my double loop, And you'll see there how that would work. So I'm going to reinforce this, and then I'm going to finish off this top thread only. Don't finish off this bottom thread yet. Now that I have the top complete, I'm ready to work on the bottom to connect and add the tassel. So since my thread was already coming out of the octagon, I went ahead and stitched it through so that I was coming out of that middle bead of that row of 3 that we found earlier up here at the top, so that now I can go ahead and I can connect this bottom part, and we're going to connect it exactly like we did the top. So I've got my C bead, and I'm going to come through that second B bead there in that row, and then thread on a C and go through the B on the octagon again, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and reinforce it one more time. And then since my thread's going to be passing through this way, I'm going to go ahead and connect this side. So you want to make sure you find the second C, so 1 and 2, and come under the second B under that C. 1 and 2. Just like that. All right, we pick up 3C. And we pass through the C there that's in our octagon. And then 3C. And pass through the B again. I'm going to reinforce this several times, and then I'm going to stitch over here to this side, and I'm going to do the connection here as well. Once you have those 3 connections on the bottom, same as on the top, then you'll want to exit out of a C here at the bottom, pointing towards the center of your piece. Now this is where your tassel is going to come into play. So you're going to thread on 5 of your B beads. If you want the tassel to hang lower, just pick up more B beads. And depending upon if you had an even or an odd number, I think I had 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to go through just the center bead there of my arch. If you had an even number of beads, then you can go through 2 beads there side by side at the center of your little arch of beads. Now I'm going to thread on 5 more B beads, and then I'm going to come across and go through the C that is there, so that now that is connected just like that. So I'm going to do a turnaround, and I'm going to reinforce this a couple of times and then finish off this thread. All right, friends, once you finish putting that tassel on, then it's completely up to you as to what you want to hang your piece on. These are very versatile, a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to see all the colors that you guys do and how you do your own take for it. Remember, I have the step-by-step pattern available on my website at offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com, and I have kits for this one and this teal colored one. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Our next shape is going to be our final 3D shape, and it is going to be on an elongated hexagon. So I look forward to it. I look forward to wrapping up this series, and I cannot wait again to see what you guys do. You all have a wonderful week. Go do something fun, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Your beading starts here. Shop it off the beaded path, beadstore.com. Bring your vision near. Off the beaded